Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome. First of all, we would like to welcome the Excellency of Dr. Josephine Watt. Yes, the Consul General of Germany in Ho Chi Minh City. And the Excellency of Sir Martin Meyer, the Consul General of Switzerland in Ho Chi Minh City. The Excellency of Sir Afonso Vieira, the Consul General of Portugal in Ho Chi Minh City. And Madame Frederick Horn, Co-Chair Corporation and Co-Chair Affair of the Consul General of France in Ho Chi Minh City. And all of you, welcome, colleagues, friends, and family. First of all, it is our great honor to see you here today, sparing your precious time out of your busy calendar to attend this opening reception of our art exhibition, People, Life, and Victory of the World. This tells a lot that you care. You care for us. You care for the progression of the art theme of Vietnam, and you care for the social and cultural development of Vietnam. Thank you. We are going to take this opportunity to share with you what we are doing, why we do it, and how we do it in the promotion of art in Vietnam. Just a piece of history. Queen and I was born, educated, and grew up in Vietnam. We have witnessed the ordinary life of a Vietnamese throughout different stages of time after the war, the Doi Moi, and the opening era as it is today. We were so fortunate to be able to have exposure to very early exposure to the world, to different peoples from different countries, and we learned about different cultures. And of course, art is a part of it. With regard to art, we don't have to talk about how important art is to human and to life, because I'm pretty sure that you all here know that better than we do. But as we travel the world, especially when the time we live in the US, we sort of realize that the Vietnamese art scene is actually very, very primitive compared to what it has been going on in other countries. And we want to address this, and we want to do something about it. There are three main groups that we would like to work on. Number one, the artists. We all know that Vietnam, we do have quite a few international renowned artists like Đinh Kieu Lê right here, and many others. However, the number is still very, very humble. We would like to support and facilitate potential Vietnamese artists to work toward international standard, international caliber by investing in their artwork to support them to be sustainable, by making more opportunities for more exposure and exchange to international artists. We have done this before at the A Farm Art Residency, and it went on really well. And we will keep doing something similar in the future. Secondly, it is about our fellow collectors. I'm pretty sure in this room there are quite a few collectors. And I want to have a few words with our fellow collectors. Dear, you are philanthropists. I remember once a very wise man who I respect a lot back when I lived in the US, he told me that, investing in people is the best investment. And don't look for short term. And don't look at micro scale. It is all about the long term and the macro scale. I don't know if I get it correct, but this is what I think. The investment in art, we don't expect a return within our life. Perhaps not even within our family. It goes further and beyond. And so we would like to initiate a vibe among our community, hoping that there will be more hands, courage, hand raising up, offering help to elevate the Vietnamese art scene. Third, it is the most important one and the most challenging one. You may already be aware of this, that the majority of Vietnamese people, they don't know about art, and they don't even care, which is a shame. For the artists and the artists who don't have the audience, what is it like? So, fortunately, and coincidentally, the strategy of our education corporation is to develop many more school campuses. The quality still affordable campuses to help bring up the education quality for the Vietnamese middle class. And this fits perfectly well to the strategy of the Green Art Foundation. The school community can benefit being able to interact with art constantly, thus help open up an awareness of art and introduce the love for art. On the other hand, the artists, the artworks could get reach out to the community. The audience, the school community, or the faculty, the staff, and especially the students, the next generation of the Vietnamese, which is very, very good for the prospect of the Vietnamese art scene. At the moment, we only have 3 school campuses. 4 more is on the way, and we hope that we can welcome you again soon in the next coming shows. at other school campuses. So next, I would leave it to my wife, Queen Nguyen, right here. She will share with you her journey with art from the very beginning until today into the future. Queen is very passionate for art, and she is the one who founded the Nguyen Art Foundation. Sine qua non. Without her, there isn't anything. I mean, this art event. So,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are very honored to welcome you all today to the inaugural show of the Nguyen Art Foundation. It's a big encouragement for us. Many of you may ask how I started the collection and what are the visions and the aims. Art came to me very naturally 30 years ago when I was in college, and I was lucky enough to be a classmate of Hồng Hoa. She's the daughter of artist Bùi Quang Ngọc. He was in the same class with artist Tô Ngọc Vân, the very first class of the Vietnam Fine Art University in Hanoi. And I visited his house, her house, very often, and was immersed in his studio full of artworks, not only his artworks, but his colleagues, his friends, and even Nguyễn Gia Chim's like big paintings, which is overwhelmed. And then one day he offered to do a portrait for me. So I agreed. And it took me 5 years to have the courage to buy that piece of artwork in 1998. And that piece of artwork started my collection. From then on, my husband and I were married in 1997. So wherever we go, we travel, we collect artworks spontaneously. In 2010, our family moved to Houston, Texas. And I wanted to do something. I want to introduce Vietnamese art to the community there. And in 2014, I decided to set up the International Modern Art Gallery and participated in the Houston Fine Art Fair and bring a group of very renowned Vietnamese artists like Đặng Xuân Hòa, Cảnh Thương, Thi Hiếu, Phạm An Hai, Hồng Nguyễn Dũng, Đinh Quân. And after that, I organized a few shows at my own house for the emerging artists like Doãn Hoàng Tâm, Doãn Xuân Tạc. And then I realized, I think I would like to build my own collection rather than selling them away. Because every time I saw something, I feel I don't want to read it. So during the time in Houston, I was very much inspired by the Menil collection, which is the most important private museum. It was founded by Mr. and Mrs. John and Dominic de Menil. And I just wish for Vietnam to have such a museum one day. And in 2014, I came back to Vietnam and met with Thanh Hà from Mott. And we shared our thoughts and passions. And in 2018, I founded Nguyen Art Foundation under the advisory of Thanh Hà. And we also, together with Mott and Sanat, with Inculand, we founded a farm, an art and residency in the same year. And so for now, we are not only simply collecting arts, but we are also doing artist videos, art archives, research. We are building an art book library here inside. If you see it, it's for the students and the researchers. And last year in November, I did 6 artist videos in Hanoi. They are now available on the YouTube and the website. And through the conversation with the artists, I could really understand and feel them deeply and understand about the Vietnam art, Vietnam history, and its political context. As a saying by Aristotle, the aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but the inward significance. Right now, we are doing a few things. I'm working with Mr. Chris Moore from Dandian Magazine to publish a Vietnamese contemporary art book, hopefully by early 2020. And Nguyen Art Foundation is sponsoring Thi Nguyen, the author of The Origins. Can you listen? The author of The Origins, a book which was published in America in 2020. And she's working on to publish in Vietnamese with Nhã Nam publisher. The book emphasizes about identity and racism in America towards the Asian American. So art has no boundaries, and I strongly believe anyone here are the ambassador for Vietnamese art, and let's support the Vietnam art and culture together. I would like to thank all the artists whose artworks are displayed in the two chapters. Jed, the curator, Martin, Naf Tim, Posidai, co-owner by Lee Gulay, and all the teachers, students, and staff, and Renaissance and Embassy to make this show successful. And I would like to introduce to you Jade Priti Ya Wong. She's the curator of this beautiful show from Thailand. She's now working for the Jim Thompson Art Center, and she would like to have a few words with you through the screen because she cannot come, because she cannot travel at the moment. So please, Miss Jade. I was very lucky because when there was a talk about the provider group, I worked over there a few years ago, and after that I went to Houston just a day later, and I was able to see the whole show of 21 pieces in the museum in Houston. And then he traveled all around America to Austin, San Francisco, New York, and it took a year for me to get the artwork. And it was displayed in my home in Houston, and then my home here, and now it's here. And it's the first time in Vietnam. And I don't think there is any other place. Yeah. And also, if you play artwork in this room, it's first time in Vietnam because it was first shown in Singapore by STI. Yes.
Cách đây 50 năm, giữa lúc khói lửa chiến tranh, tôi vẽ 50 năm là một khoảng thời gian rất là dài với một đời người. Nhưng mà đối với một người như tôi, vẽ những bức tranh này, bảo quản được nó, đem nó đi theo mình, không để nó lưu lại. Hôm nay các bức tranh của tôi được Thi Quỳnh trình bày rất là đẹp trong tôi xin hết sức cảm ơn Thi Quỳnh và các nhân viên của Amazon tạo điều kiện cho những bức tranh của tôi được rạng rỡ như này. Xin cảm ơn.
This is such a pleasure for me, and so I want to thank Win and Win Art Foundations. It's very important that we have our work collect internationally. So most of my work, fortunately and unfortunately, collected internationally, but I've always felt that the work should be here as well in Vietnam. And many of the great work that contemporary Vietnamese artists now produce should be in collection in Vietnam as well, instead of just international. And as somebody who also part of SANART, we know that many contemporary artwork are currently collected by international collectors as well as institutions outside. And it's very important that it's collected outside, but it's very rare and that to have collector here in Vietnam who believe in collecting contemporary artwork. Right now the trend is to collect primarily paintings, and so artwork that doesn't fit into that genre are not being collected. So they end up going outside Vietnam, and so it's really a pleasure to see so many good contemporary artwork here in Vietnam, being an exhibit, but also knowing that the work is in a Vietnamese collection rather than in a collection abroad. And I hope, events like this and collection like this, there will be more of it in Vietnam in the future. And so I think win again for starting this, and hopefully it become a trend, where everybody's getting involved. Thank you.
I'm kind of speechless, first of all, because I didn't prepare anything, but also because this event is extremely meaningful for many of us here who are operating in the art world, especially myself and the group that I work with called the Propeller Group. For any art world to be a healthy art community, it's an ecology, right? There's got to be the artists, there's got to be the education, the institutions that support the artists. There's got to be collectors who support and preserve the artworks. There's got to be museums and it's a whole ecology. Academia is a big part of it as well. So I think this is a really big step for the art community in Vietnam. And I admire and honor to be in the collection. And I think that the work that you are doing, the Win Art Foundation, is admirable. And I'm hoping that it will also create a wave for an awareness in contemporary art in Vietnam. So thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to say I'm very honored to be part of this. Thank you to Twin and Quinn, and NAF, and all the artists involved. No, it really is a real honor for myself to be included amongst this. Really thank you.
Mấy ngày trước đó thì Thảo Nguyên có xem qua cái video của bác Thảo, bác Hiếu ở trên YouTube, thì cả hai tụi em thì đều cảm thấy rất là xúc động, tại vì lần đầu tiên được thấy những cái kế hoạch kháng chiến đó là lúc mà mình đi tham dự Documenta 13 có tác phẩm của anh Lê Quang Đỉnh. Đó là lần đầu tiên mà mình thấy một cái hệ thống những kế hoạch kháng chiến được trưng bày rất là đẹp trong một cái bối cảnh rất là trang trọng, và có video kèm theo giải thích cái bối cảnh về những cái kế hoạch đó một cách rất là khác biệt so với cái cách mà mình được cảm nhận và được dạy dỗ trong môi trường đại học mỹ thuật. Thì trước tiên đó là rất là cảm ơn chị Quỳnh Nguyễn Art Foundation đã sưu tập một cách hệ thống hóa những cái tác phẩm không chỉ là những thế hệ nghệ sĩ trẻ mà còn có những thế hệ nghệ sĩ đã trải qua cuộc chiến tranh, để cho những người như tụi em có thể mở rộng được cái quá trình học hỏi của mình. Qua đó thì cũng hy vọng là trong cái triển lãm này á, thì những cái nghệ sĩ thế hệ sau á, họ cũng sẽ có nhiều cái cơ hội hơn để được đứng cạnh kề vai những cái thế hệ tiếp nối và những thế hệ cũ, để không còn những cái mâu thuẫn, mà qua đó là cái sự học hỏi và cái sự trân trọng lẫn nhau. Thì rất là cảm ơn chị Quỳnh và Nguyễn Foundation về điều đó.
I'd like to introduce to you Trương Công Tùng and Lê Thảo Nguyên. The books are also in the show, in the chapter. Trương Công Tùng, the work is here, the video, and Phan Thảo Nguyên, the work is in chapter 2. And especially this Lê Thị Lân, she's the wife of the deceased artist Phạm Thành Tâm. You can see the artworks here. And I went to visit her many times, and the artworks are incredible. But she passed away last year, so unfortunately, so Miss Lân is here today. I would like to invite Mr. Peter Gittens.
Thanks, Quinn. I'm not as bright as these guys, so I'll have to read. So, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, it's a great pleasure tonight to be afforded the opportunity to say a few words, and in the process, recognise and celebrate Quinn's vision and passion for Vietnamese contemporary art that is so very much on display this evening. As an educator, indeed, it's a privilege to be involved in an organisation where creativity is held in such high regard and where art is visible and acceptable in not only one, but in 3 school locations. Quinn, I must admit that when I saw the plans for this room, I had grand ideas, but the owners were even grander. And in so doing, you have provided an opportunity for students to actively engage with art, with the artists, and with key aspects of Vietnamese history that are represented in this exhibition. Well. Whilst this exhibition is about art, it is also about the power of collaboration and how much can be achieved when teachers and students actively participate in a generative process. It has provided our students with the opportunity to reflect on their own history, to appreciate the resilience and determination of their forebears, to understand the socio-political dimensions of the time, and to appreciate the successes of the Vietnam that emerged as a result. As we all know, art is interpretive and allows an individual the freedom to come to his or her own conclusions, to interpret and to think independently. It is liberating, impactful, empowering, and above all, a medium without boundaries. In closing, let me congratulate everyone involved in this exhibition and thank Quinn for her commitment to the foundation, to education through art. Thank you all for attending tonight. Suffice it to say, I've had the opportunity to view this exhibition, and it is a privilege, to witness its evolution from concept to completion. It's a learning in itself, and to be surrounded by the creative talents of Vietnamese artists is inspiring. Please enjoy the exhibition, the company of friends, and the opportunity to celebrate the medium of Vietnamese contemporary art, even though it's COVID. Enjoy. Thank you.
So thank you everybody, and I hope you can continue the show. Enjoy. And food and drink is served outside. And feel free. Thank you.